Greetings and welcome to your Mindfulness Mastery podcast. I am your host and trusted guide, Tawnya Love. I am an intuitive, shamanic, angelic way shower, healer, light worker, and author. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share this podcast. To schedule any one-on-one sessions or group healing events, you can visit and book your sessions on my divinely inspired website at mindfulnessmastery888.com. Thank you so much for your presence and for your support. Now sit back, relax, and open yourself to receive. All right, guys, welcome back to Mindfulness Mastery 888, where we share the real, the raw, and the truthful. And oh, do we have some for you today. I'm host Tawnya Love with my fellow host, Cindy Campbell.
Hello, everyone.
And we've kind of been moving through some things since our last podcast where we were talking about control dramas and like what those are. And we were describing all that. And I feel today what we're going to title this session, which might go into a couple of podcasts, conscious creation versus unconscious creation. Because when we are focusing in certain directions, we can create in very different ways. And some of the control drama things that we were talking about, we as soul sisters and in our household experienced some things that came up, and I feel it's all gold. That's my perspective on life. I'm like, oh, it's all happening for us. It's all happening to help us to be better. It's all happening for a reason. And so we can take everything that happens, even if it's uncomfortable, and we can love ourselves. And we can be like, whoa, what am I fucking learning? Instead of, oh God, I'm fucking up. And this is awful.
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so Cindy and I were kind of working through some things today, and I'm going to let her kind of start. There's some vulnerability here.
Yes.
So we're going to be really gentle with each other, and we might cry. And it's okay because we're spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yes.
Let's remember that.
Yes. So we have been talking about a situation and that Tawnya could energetically feel me like attacking. And she has been very gracious and is able to understand it from a like
in the vortex understanding.
Yeah.
Yes.
And an energetic, like, and a psychological and all the things.
Yes.
And then we were just talking and then she could sense, and I could even feel that I was still feeling shame about the situation.
Yes.
Yes.
So some emotion came up.
Yes.
And my little sensitive empathic ass immediately was like, oh, it's okay. You can cry.
Yes.
Which it is okay. And crying to me, I'm a very healthy being that cries often. And when I need to cry, I do not shame. I mean, there has been times, depending on who I'm around, and I feel like this is something to be aware of. Sometimes we're around people where we feel safe to be vulnerable and cry.
Yes.
We might be in a different circumstance with different people where suddenly we don't feel safe and we're kind of apologizing. I've caught that, not very much now.
Yeah.
But in my journey, there was times I would catch myself apologizing for crying. And then I'd be like, wait a minute. No, I don't need to apologize for crying because I'm releasing emotion. This is very healthy.
Right.
And we could probably get into a whole podcast about that, but truly crying is a very healthy way that we release pressure, internal pressure, and we release emotion. So there's nothing to be ashamed for. I feel like it's not the crying you were feeling shameful, though. I think it was more like, oh, why was I choosing that behavior? Am I a bad girl?
Right.
And because of some of the things that came up that are connected to childhood situations, that's part of your inner child calling for love and to be held by you and to know that she's not a bad girl.
Yeah, right.
Like sometimes we maybe do or say things that aren't the best, but we're not bad girls. Like we were hurting, we were afraid, we were in isolation. It's okay, love. It's okay. Feel that. This is why we're being so fucking vulnerable. And God damn it, if we're not going to help humanity heal from it, because that is our intention.
Yes.
That is our intention, to be so transparent.
Yeah, one of the things has been...
I'm so proud of you. I really am.
we've talked about this, but if I'm in trouble, I've done something bad, then I feel like then I won't be loved.
Yeah.
That I fucked up and that I have to go away.
So you kick your own ass in your mind.
Yes.
Then you kick your own ass energetically.
Yes.
You self-isolate, push others away that do love you.
Yeah.
And then focus on the doom and gloom reality that just any minute now they're going to reject me.
Really good at that.
I'm just making it really simple to see like, yes, I get it. And we can do that. And what we're doing is self-sabotage. Like we are rejecting ourselves.
Yeah.
Because deep down you felt that at times in your past.
Right.
So we were talking about that today when we have unaddressed trauma from past that we haven't really sat with and like loved and understood and embraced it. It can come up in the weirdest ways at times. It could come up in, and I don't want to say weird with a judgment, but just like where we feel uncomfortable, like that's awkward. It could come up where this is not even a person that damaged me.
Right.
But I want to throw this shit on them.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to sabotage yet another relationship, which you're not, by the way.
Right.
But I'm just saying we, as humans, we can do this.
Yes.
And I've had relationships go down that, man, did I love those people? But God damn it, if they weren't trying to make me like the villain in their movie and try to just throw their shit at me constantly. And part of what we're going to talk about is both sides of that. And why sometimes it's okay to, there's like in my case with some people, I had to let them go. Do I still wish them well? Yes. Do I feel like that's what we're going to do? No, I really don't. But I feel like your journey of self-awareness with what you're navigating and loving that child and recognizing I'm not who you're mad at.
Right.
I'm not who you're afraid of.
Yeah.
That's so key. Because like, just like if you were dating someone and you had trauma in your past, but you're projecting that on your partner, that partner's doing the best they can. And I definitely have done that when I was younger. And I did the best I knew how.
Right.
Because no one taught me a damn thing about trauma and healing it or boundaries. This is all come from spirit and a girl that's dragged her ass out of swamp after swamp in the early years, right? So I feel like part of it's just loving yourself and being gentle with yourself and realizing that you're on a journey of learning and understanding. We all are, right?
Right.
But shaming yourself, isolating yourself, creating the illusion of separation, it's just a really great way to suffer, but it's not a great way to connect and to feel empowered.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So when we say unconscious creation as opposed to conscious creation, unconscious creation will go into a lower frequency place. Not like they're consciously doing it, right? Because it's unconscious.
Right.
But they're in a place of, I'm not enough, or, oh, look, and they can look, and it can seem so innocent, but it's really can be destructive really quick. I'm looking out of a lens and I see someone shining happy, but I'm jealous, I'm envious, I'm competing, I'm comparing. What Spirit told me was the moment you find yourself in compete and compare, know that your wounded ego temporarily has you under control. Like it's controlling you.
Yeah.
You are not in control. The higher I am, the higher self you, it's wounded you, wounded ego you. That's like compete, compare. Our society has a lot to heal in its own toxicity that it continues to perpetuate.
Yeah.
If you look outside at a lot of social media, the news, magazines, movies, so much of the noise is compete, compare.
Yes.
The reason we have so many like people that are sick in the industries like this, like you have women, we were talking about that, about diet pills and drugs and all this stuff. And then there's these girls that like, they have no reason truly to be taking a diet pill, but they are because of a mental disease, a mental dis-ease, saying, I'm not enough.
Yeah.
I'm competing and comparing with everything, even my old self. Oh God, I'm 24 and I need to look like I'm 14. There's a really strange like toxicity, like sexualization of young girls, right? And then in the media, the way it's presented, like if you're worthy, if you're valuable, this is what you do. There's so many ways we could go into this discussion, but some reason that's coming through me is that we have to understand the importance of loving ourselves and really knowing what health is, or the noise will take us over. And so when wounded ego takes us over, it really causes suffering quick in ourself. And it will cause us to feel like we, kind of like Eckhart Tolle says in depression, you put yourself in a dark room, you shut the door, you shut the blinds, and then you sit there and complain about being all alone. Like, you know, poor me, I'm all alone. But you literally put yourself in the room and shut the door. And like, I was having a talk with my partner, and I haven't shared all the details, but he was my ex-husband, and we are reuniting and we're working through things and healing things. And our daughter found out that we've been talking, and my daughter has some stuff she's healing. And I'm not going to reveal all that for the privacy of her, but there's things she's still got to heal. And there was a lot of anger and angst came at him about things. And that energy, it's kind of like what he was telling me is there's this narrative, like, yeah, she feels like she doesn't have a mom. And that I could let that really hurt me. And it used to, because I was that mom doing everything to connect and doing everything and wanting in any way to have a relationship. And there was some things that happened that severed our connection that I did not create or choose, but things that happened that I can't make them see and do their healing. Does that make sense?
Right.
So basically what I said to him was, the narrative was, I feel like I don't have a mom. And I said, well, that's fascinating, because I'm here and I'm breathing, I'm real, and I'd love to love her. And it's just like that room in depression. Someone puts themselves in the room, they shut the door, and they're depressed. In truth, there's a whole lot of energies out there that would probably love to connect, right?
Right.
So for me, it's like, if you put yourself and you say, oh, I feel like I don't have a mom, and your mom's like, man, I would love to connect with you, but I don't know what you need to get over all the anger you're holding on to, or these things that you're hurting yourself with. I would love to come in. It's just like the light wanting to come in. I'd love to come in. But if you shut down all access and there is no way to communicate with you, I don't know your number, like, it's like creating a room of suffering, and then being mad at the person that you're not inviting in and blaming them because they can't come into the room you locked down.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so the reason I say that is because so much of what we've navigated this week, there's been a lot of vulnerabilities, and that was some for me. But energetically understanding, like, we can love a person no matter what they choose. But there's a part of me that has gone through a lot in this life. And being a mother, I feel like there's even a lot with titles and roles of like what a mom should be, what a mom should put up with, you know, how a dad should be, what a sister should be. There's a lot of unspoken kind of rules that aren't necessarily aligned truths, right?
Right.
And so if it's like, oh, I can't be mean to my housemate, but I can be a total bitch to my mom, which we went through with one of my kids that just coming at me. And I'm like, no, sir. I will not tolerate anyone spewing venom at me, no matter what their reasons.
Right.
And so part of what I feel has been interesting is like old Tawnya. We've talked about, I think on the podcast I mentioned before, like an old character I gave her of like Doormat Mom. And Doormat Mom was a great mom. But goddamn, did she get kicked around and not really treated with respect. And she was doing the best she knew how with what she had been taught and her performance in life of how to get the love, right?
Right.
The mother and the woman I am today that has done her healing and always is doing her healing. I'll just be clear. Like, I was in my room reflecting on some things from different things said, hearing certain things about my daughter really upset me at times. And it's, to be honest, makes me sad. Yeah. But at the same time, it doesn't make me sad. I feel sadness. I feel energy of sadness. And then I sit with it and then I release it and I send her love. And I'm like, at some point when she's ready, she knows where to find me and she will, if she wants to. I realize that none of us own each other. None of us. And one of the things I think that's kind of like a misaligned energy that we teach parents and children is almost like if your children fuck up in society's perspective of fucking up, it's the parents' fault. The parents must have fucked up. Could the parents have had a factor in some things? Sure. But in truth, humans in their individual selves create individual choices. and they are souls having a human experience, and they are creating with their free will. I can train my dog to be a good listening girl, but if she sees a ball she wants at the dog park, she'll knock her fucking teeth out to get it. And she did. It's not too long ago. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I could tell her, no, baby, come back to mommy. And she's just like, I don't even know who you are. Poof, I'm going to get the ball. And the same thing applies with children. I could guide and nurture my children and try the best to keep them safe and guide them. But they might want to go and, like, I kind of use the metaphor like, oh, don't touch the stove, baby. It's really hot. And if they run over and touch the stove, because that soul wants to learn in that way, it's a painful way, but it's one way.
Right.
And then they're like, it's hot. And I'm like, I know, I tried to prevent you from burning yourself, right? I feel, though, that there's a lot of pressure put on parents and people in general of just like, and there's that chart I had shared with you one time. It's like shows what's my responsibility and everything outside of that circle that's not my responsibility. Every human would be so benefited to understand that chart very deeply, as well as the spiral chart of frequency.
Yes.
This is the basement of hell, and up here is like the heavenly, blissful, gratitude, expanded perspective energy, right? And then somewhere in the middle, we can operate and fluctuate on that spiral.
Yes.
But energetically, I feel like it's so important that we understand these things. And so that chart with what's my responsibility and what's not, it's just the spiritual truth, even if we don't want to cooperate with it. So if I know and understand the spiritual truth, I can make my journey much more easy and less painful, right?
Right.
But if I have a society projecting, and it could be cultural, right? Different cultures have a lot of belief systems about a lot of things. That doesn't mean it's the only truth. It just is a projection of a societal like rule. Like, this is our rule. And sometimes us, what do I want to call it? Like the generational curse breaker souls.
Yes.
We come in and go, yeah, we're going to fuck all that up. And not in a mean way. We're not here to be mean and destructive. We're here to be constructive and assist with healing. So some of the souls that come in, like families where there's toxicity, abuse, whatever, and there's a soul that's like, yeah, this don't seem right. And in a sense, we were doing that in our family this week, in our household, where there were some energetics. As the empath, I felt them, and I'm like, what is going on? And I was kind of telling Cindy, if you guys have seen the movie Man of Steel, I really resonate with Kal-El, like how he feels everything very intensely. And that is how I am. It doesn't mean I feel everyone feels like that. And not everyone seems to be sensitive to gluten, for fuck's sakes, but I certainly am, And so there can be like gifts and what could seem like a curse, the paradox of energy, right?
Yeah.
But when I do feel things, I don't see it as like me being punished, and I don't see it as me being superior. I just see it as it is what I am. Like if maybe I'm really from another place and I've come here because I really do feel that's truth. And I've come here to anchor a frequency and help humanity in the best ways I can. When I watch that movie, how many times they're trying to kill him the whole time through the movie? And he's like, guys, I'm literally just trying to help you. What the hell? Like, just calm your asses down. But energetically, he feels things deeply. So do I. And so when I'm feeling that stuff, it was to address something that psychically I was picking up on that isn't helping you. It isn't helping my kid. It isn't helping me. And energetically, if it's left unchecked, becomes a problem. It can become a problem. It's kind of like if somebody's got a sickness and it's not too intense, but there's something wrong, and they leave it unchecked, it can become a more serious problem. But if they go check it out, correct a few things, their diet, their behaviors, healthy body.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Same thing. Healthy relationship with self leads to healthy relationship with other. So if there's unchecked frequency glitches, energetic glitches, I should call them, that's kind of what my cue is for being on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Is like, oh, what's that source? Yeah, what are we picking up on? I go into meditation, I'm processing it. Oh, bam, 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 I'm feeling this stuff. Then I get some confirmation. And sometimes people I've noticed, and this isn't me shaming people, but I feel like I've observed this where, you go to have a meeting. You could be at a business meeting, or you could be with your family or your lover. And you're like, so I'm noticing some things. I picked up on some things, and I'd really like to make sure we're on the same page, like that we're on the same, like, what did they say in the vortex? Like we're on the same high flying disc, like that we're both heading in the same direction. And if we're not, that's okay. But then that might make me reevaluate, right? So let's say you're dating someone and they just want to be a free flowing hoe and they just give it away to the whole village. But you're kind of more wanting to reel it in and have it be monogamous, right?
Yes.
That you might pick up on some glitchy energy and want to address and ask questions. And if you find out they're not on that high flying disc of monogamy and loyalty, it would be a great conversation to have, for example.
Yes.
But when we ask people, sometimes people get kind of a threat. They feel attacked, and it's not that they are being, but sometimes people's sensitive egos, the wounded parts of ourselves, can feel like, oh God, I'm being called out for something. And then it can kind of flare up an egoic shield, right?
Yes.
That's something we've got to look at in ourselves, that is something we can do, but is that something that's helping us?
No.
And it's okay if it happens. I feel like you and Carter did really well with our meeting, our family meeting.
Yeah.
But I do know that there was some trauma from your past. I know that there's trauma from theirs and mine that we've all had. But I know I'm being called to be the leader of this. And my family will receive it or they won't.
Right.
But I am going to stand 10 toes down on this message of boundaries and health because of love for myself and love for them and for our vision we're creating. Does that make sense?
Yep.
I'm going to pause for a second. Do you want to say anything on that? Because we're going to probably do several of these podcasts to keep them around 22 minutes. But
there was something, but I can't remember what it is. So. Oh well, it'll come back probably in the next.
Next episode. We'll keep continuing it. So basically, kind of like coming to that place where we have to be at least self-aware enough in ourselves to go, oh, someone's sensing something that doesn't, and this is coming full circle back to your first comment. You're not a bad girl because someone picked up on maybe a glitchy, not so healthy behavior or energy.
Yeah.
And that energy, it's kind of good. Like, it's like if a doctor noticed, like when my skin, I had the thing and they're like, something doesn't seem right and I'm getting it checked out. And honestly, having that checked out helped to get rid of an issue that could have been really serious, right?
Right.
So it's like, if you can see it like helpful and healing, it's so much easier than if we see it as, oh, I suck, I'm awful. And the judgment, even like if your parents were disciplining you when you were a child, most likely, unless they were actually insane, they probably loved you.
Right.
But you had just done something that pissed them off and they corrected it, or they wanted to bring it to your attention. But how we take that in as a child, the maturity of a child and how they process things is not the same as a grown-up.
Right.
And I mean, some grown-ups literally, I think, are processing just like toddlers, to be honest, because they haven't evolved emotionally. But if we want to be healthy and evolve emotionally, we have to look at those parts in our inner child. Okay, what age do I feel she is right now, the one coming up in me, and what was said or done? And let me hold her and let me be like, it's okay, you're safe. And I did that the other day when I was in my room in meditation. My neck hurt and I was like, what the heck's going on with my neck? It was just really tense. And then I just laid still because I talked to my body and I remembered to do this. I'm like, oh, body, neck, it's okay. I got you. Like, I understand, like, you're in pain. I'm laying down.
Yep.
I'm handling it. So you can relax now. You'd be amazed of how the pain will shut off in your body when you acknowledge that you are feeling a sensation of pain in your body.
Yeah.
Because the pain is just like a signal to get your attention.
Oh.
And once you let it know, like, I hear you. Like, I've done this when I've had to pee like crazy in the car. And I'm like, oh my God, how long till my exit? And I've talked to my bladder where I've said, it's okay, bladder. I understand that you need me to release some pressure. I get it.
Yeah.
And I am on my way. So you can relax and I got you. And bam, the pressure eases off. It's amazing how intelligent our bodies are. So that being said, when I was talking to myself and talking to my neck, it was connected to everything because my neck tension. And when I said, it's okay, I got you, like, you're safe, you can relax, I started to cry.
Oh.
And that was some of the emotion of some of the triggering the energetics I was feeling.
Yep.
That triggered my inner child of old trauma, where when triangulation started, when teaming up started, it didn't go so good for me.
Yeah.
It was danger, right?
Yeah.
Or when certain energetics would happen, it would be like, oh, betrayal. That was what we saw before betrayal happened, right?
Yeah.
So it's like that part of us that's protecting us. But when we can sit with it and be at peace and kind of feel, what are we sensing, so we can help the whole team and the whole family, it can be healing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I feel we were doing in our family by having a family meeting, a household meeting, to address certain things. As uncomfortable as it could feel, my soul wisdom was like embracing a moment that's uncomfortable now to address things will prevent incredibly uncomfortable moments that could be created in a future by not addressing things.
Yeah.
So it's like the importance of boundaries, which could be a whole podcast series right there, but the boundaries and understanding what's safe for everybody, so important for everyone to feel safe.
Yes.
And us having a trigger is not anyone else's responsibility. It's ours.
Right.
But if we're having the trigger, that we have to heal that and then explain and communicate with the people that we care about, like, what the behavior was. So me talking to my kid, like, man, you kind of talk to me like a bitch. Like, I'm not enjoying it.
Yeah.
Please stop. Right? Energetically, it doesn't mean I'm judging. I love that kid.
Yeah.
But there's a boundary being set. Like, hey, I don't talk to you like that. I don't appreciate that. I really know there's a higher and more loving way to talk. So we're going to end on that note, and we're going to pick this up because I feel like there's way much more that we can get into even with each other.
Yes.
And kind of the process. So anything you want to say before I end this one? All right, guys. So remember, if you can take a minute to like, share, and follow, and thank you for listening. And I'm just going to create another segment to this podcast. Have a beautiful day. Be conscious. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today to our most recent podcast of Mindfulness Mastery 888, The Real, Raw, and Truthful. For those who would like to book any one-on-one sessions, you can contact me at mindfulnessmastery888.com. A gentle warning on working in higher realms of consciousness. As you are listening to our podcast, you may feel or experience tingles, dizziness, or tiredness. This is your body giving you guidance that it needs to relax. It's not a bad thing, but we do encourage you to honor your body and get yourself in a position where you can relax and receive these codes of consciousness. I thank you for taking a moment to subscribe, like, share, and follow, and come back and check out our newest content. Have a blessed and peaceful day.